Well, that's about going to do it, guys. We got $2,000 gold officially closed candle, end of day, $2,000. All right. Nickel shot up 70% today. Look at that. All because of Russia. People don't understand how big of a deal Russia is, how much they account to our global resources. I mean, this is going to be a nightmare. But man, can you make so much money in this stuff. Let's start with the indices. We talked about it. Where's it going? Gee, I wonder. We've talked about it how many times now? Right? This was never going up, you guys. We've talked about it too many times. The Fed. Only the Fed can save the day by lowering rates, and they can't. Right? They can't do that. So this is over. Game over. Here's your first legitimate spot for a meaningful bounce. After that, I mean, we're still going lower. In fact, I'm going to call it right now. If we get any kind of a big bounce, it will be right here, about 10,250 or so, okay? I'm just going to call that right now, 10,225 for the Nasdaq. S&P, it's no different. We're going down. All right, we're going down. First chance you got at a nice, meaningful bounce, 3,600. All right, but you're at least going to hit this trend line. Nothing's changed. All right, platinum still looks good. Still breaking out of its double bottom W pattern. It did put a shooting star candle here, but I'm still bullish on it. I don't think it sells off. We'll keep watching it. The underlying equities, though, in Stillwater, we talked about that measure move. It's kind of chilling here now. That is going to be a ceiling, but they contribute a lot to nickel. And so there's still upside here, even if platinum doesn't go up. These guys are still a solid buy because nickel could carry them through. All of these gold stocks, guys, I mean, you can just look at them. But these are great. Look at Newmont breaking out. It's never coming back, okay? Never. I mean, yeah, you might come back and test this trend right here, all right? Maybe if you're lucky. But that's it. You're not coming back down here anymore. That's over. Your chance to buy the stuff at those prices is gone. All right? And it is just all up from here. You understand? It's just all up from here. We have broken out in gold. Because the thing about gold, remember we talked about, is, look, when it started breaking out, we said, look, this is because of the war premium. And if anything changes, it's going to go over. But as long as there's a war, as long as there's fears, it's going to go up. Well, it's still going up. Okay. But the thing about it is, the closer we get to the Fed, which is now only a couple weeks away, I mean, the less it matters if the war stops because you're just going to go right into the Fed at this point anyway. So any sell-off is an immediate buy because gold can only go up from here. You take any sell-off you can get as a buying opportunity because it's going to the moon. And speaking of nickel, my favorite nickel stock personally is FPX. That's FPOCF on the over-the-counter exchange. Now, these guys don't actually produce yet. They just have a humongous asset that they're going to develop. Okay, but their inferred resources in the ground puts them at least 10 to 15x above where they are. But that was based on nickel prices lower than what we've got. Okay, so these guys are a big buy. I actually bought more today. I've been accumulating. I bought several times all throughout here, okay? And my average is somewhere in the middle. I think my average is about 46 cents or something. But I bought more today. I bought it more at 63 because when I saw that volume and I saw it take off, hey, look, this is just what's happening, right? So this is a good play if you want to get some exposure to nickel. Of course, you can always get into a multifaceted company like VALE. This is nickel. This is copper. This is coal. This is steel. I mean, these guys do it all. These were my buy prices I accumulated here. Not at 18, but at 16, at 14, and 11.50. I mean, geez, this has so far to go. This is still a great buy. If you're lucky, there will be some kind of news or narrative that rolls it over and lets it retest 18 again. That would be a great buy if you're able to do that again. But it might not happen. This thing just might go forever. I mean, it's a great company with a great dividend, and that's the thing you got to understand. This is where all the money is going now. Because what do you want to own Apple for or any of these major companies for anymore. I mean, first of all, they're dumping all their customers, right? They just dumped 150 million customers in Russia. It's like, right? The Fed's not going to print any more money, at least not anytime soon. So what reason do these companies have to go up? None. So where's all the money going? It's going into undervalued companies, especially the ones with great dividends like VALE, right? Or Newmont and gold. I mean, look at these fertilizer companies. These are great buys too. NTR, IPI. Golly, they're just taking off. And part of this is because of the potash and the natural gas and fertilizer consequences of everything going on with Russia as well. So look, fertilizer is very likely to be a major choke point for future agriculture. So if you're not in yet, don't be afraid to get in. Record volume today, right? Look how much it's moved up, and it's still got record volume today. After a 34% move, the volume's still coming. So believe me, it's not too late. IPI had a sell-off here. You can see this is kind of a scary candle. But I might get in tomorrow. I don't own any IPI yet, but I want it. I want in. Because unless the United States and the West, let's just say the West, if the West doesn't get smart about what they're doing, canceling countries like this, I mean, we're about to undergo an extraordinarily painful, probably decade. It's like, you better get into commodities as fast as you can. And you better get into raw processing and foods and stuff like this, because that's going to be where the money is. I mean, that's where it's all going to be. It's not going to be in all this tech growth and stuff. Sure, there might be some outliers or whatever, but not as a sector, right? I mean, the world's changing pretty quickly. So look, if you want to take a lotto ticket, if you want to take a chance at something that might pay off for you, even if it's a small investment, okay, just put like 1/4 or 0.5% or something in your portfolio, just a lotto ticket. I would highly recommend NAK, N-A-K, Northern Dynasty Minerals. And the reason is, look, this is not a new company. This is not a secret. It's nothing like that. Okay, the backstory of this company is essentially the Pebble Mine. Pebble Mine is the crown jewel of the company. It's in Alaska. And they're sitting on billions of dollars of assets, okay? We're talking gold and copper. I mean, they're just sitting on an absolute monolithic node of goodies, okay? But they can't get to them for a few reasons. They don't want them to tear up the environment, and the United States government won't let them in. Let me tell you something, guys. It is only a matter of time. I'm convinced only a matter of time before they open this up. And if you can buy down here on these cheap prices and you're willing to just let the money go and not worry about it and hold on to it, maybe, because it could take years. You don't know. Maybe it takes 5 years. Maybe it takes 10 years. I don't know. Nobody does. But I'm willing to bet it'll be sooner than later. And I'm inspired because recently Biden signed a waiver or something like that, opening up some other mining projects because it was in the national interest of the country to access those resources. And that tells me that it's only a matter of time before we go get to these, because the world's changing. We're going to need all that gold and copper, okay? And we're talking, let's say if they opened it up. And let me tell you something. This company was, the assets were evaluated on prices substantially lower than the prices we have today. And the prices we have today are about to go up a lot more than they are, all right? All I'm trying to do is I'm just telling you, if this ever opens, I mean, this isn't a 10x or a 20x, okay? This is like a 50x. So if you want to drop $100, $500, $1,000, $10,000, whatever is a small portion for you, go for it. I would highly recommend it. I did. I mean, why haven't you bought uranium yet? I don't understand. We've been talking about it. We talk about it. We just keep watching it going up. Look, there's nothing that can stop it. Nothing. And we still have so much higher to go. It couldn't be more bullish, you guys. Any kind of sell-off in this sector is a buying opportunity. I am telling you, if you get the opportunity to buy on a sell-off day, you got to go in there and take it, okay? Because it's not going anywhere but up. The sector is bullish. I mean, now even Elon Musk is coming out and saying, look, we have to start drilling for more oil. And by the way, we need nuclear. So it's getting to the point where nobody can deny this anymore. And even despite all the kind of fear nonsense coming out of Europe over Russia and Ukraine fighting near these nuclear power plants, look, it's nothing. That's total nothing burger. It's just clickbait stuff. These things are no real risk. Believe me, these things are designed to withstand 747s running straight into them. All right. I mean, there's nothing. Look, if people get scared and sell off, use that as an opportunity to buy. Okay. We have come a long way, but God, we have a long way to go yet. And the way the world is shaping up right now, this is probably we're going to overshoot so hard. Just get some exposure, all right? Just get in a little bit. You see all the companies right here. They're all good. All right? These are all good. And I got some mix-ups at the bottom. Don't worry about it. These are all good companies. Just get in, get your feet wet. Oh, but I'm not going to go without talking about LEU again. I told you. There are only 2 companies in the world that did this, all right? Only 2. One of them's Russian. All right. Guess which of those companies not going to do anything for anybody anymore? I'm just saying. And nobody wants to invest in oil at these prices. Nobody wants to hold oil at these prices. This oil getting this high is not a good thing, right? It's scary. And anytime it does get this high and gets overextended, I mean, it likes to sell off, and it likes to do so very steeply. So investing in oil right now is rather risky. It's had an excellent run up. Being in oil has been, arguably the best all-around investment for the last year or more, but it's going to have to take a break. Now, the thing about it is that the world's a lot different now than it was 2 weeks ago. So, right? And it's going to be a lot different in 2 weeks than it is today, okay? So you don't know what tomorrow may bring, but my point is that in oil right now, we could go to $150 or $200 just as easily, or likely for that matter, as we could roll over and drop back down to 100. Right? It's just one simple headline is going to change everything for oil. And that's why I'm kind of getting a little bit iffy on it, because it's kind of getting to the point where how much upside do you have left? And whatever upside you do get is not going to be long-lived, because the market really can't support the weight of expensive oil. I mean, the legs are just going to buckle one way or another. It can't support those kind of prices. So you start to get overextended in oil, you kind of want to get out. And that's why I'm such a fan of things like uranium, because uranium is still cheap, right? Uranium is still underpriced. So any sell-off that happens in something like uranium is a buying opportunity, because something's cheap just got cheaper, right? And think something like gold. Gold's just now breaking out. It has a long way to go just to finish its run. So this is where you can start to differentiate things like this and pick. Like Bitcoin, I told you guys, try to tell you, look, you don't want to own this stuff until it does 1 of 2 things. Number one, the Fed could come out and say we're printing money, and that's your signal to go buy Bitcoin. Last time I talked about it, I think it was right here, and I told you, you don't even want to look at it if it can't break up right here. And what did it do? It came and it got to it and it rolled over. I told you, man. Trust me, I will buy it too if the chart tells us to buy it. But if it's not, then I'm not going to, right? So I don't have any emotional attachment to the stuff. We're just going to make money where the opportunity presents itself, even if it's in friggin' potash. Right? That's what we're going to buy if the chart says buy it. And the chart right now says do not buy Bitcoin. It does not look good. Wait for the Fed to give the signal, or wait for it to break a key level. By the way, I told you I'd gotten some more Liberty Gold last video. Down here, I think it was 89 cents or something. 85 cents is over in here. Oh, 82 cents. I bought it at 82 cents. And here we are. We're breaking out right there. So, look, guys, this stuff is super easy. I told you I'd let you know trades I'm making too, and we could trade together. But look, there's a lot of money to be made. Just get out of the silly stuff and get into the real stuff, right? You want stuff that comes out of the ground or is produced from things made out of the ground, right? So even steel. Let's go look at steel, actually. American Steel. So this is actually, I haven't seen this candle yet. This is a daily chart. That's an ugly candle. It was trying to break out of this long-term downtrend, and it looks like it might end up getting denied. So let's watch that and see what it does here, okay? This may be a good learning opportunity. Let's see if it bounces or falls back through, because that will dictate what we do next. If we can come and get kind of a bounce, bounce, bounce and hold, then that might be a really good buying opportunity to go up. So let's watch that one and see what happens. Emerging market ETF is cratering, and I'm looking for a spot to buy. Right now, it's a falling knife, so we've got to look for technical support, and we can see some right here. Right there, 42.29. That's our first check. So let's mark that off real quick. Bam, right there. Now you'll notice we kind of gapped open here. We had breakaway gaps and never came back. I'm willing to bet if we break below this level, this line, we're going to come down here. We're going to close this gap just below it, and we might take off from here instead. But getting down here into this zone, I'm starting to get a little bit comfortable with getting some exposure to this. I don't like this one as much as I like others. In particular, I like focusing on countries exclusively, right? Like a Brazilian ETF, a Peruvian, African. But this is good too. We're going to start looking at things like this because as the markets change, look, the Western kind of first world's about to crumble. In case you're not paying attention, you don't see it. It's rolling over, guys. And so the next great opportunity might be in other countries, other developing, up-and-coming countries who have a lot more growth and future ahead of them than, say, overbloated fat cats like us who can't pay their bills and are about to pay the consequences instead.